Let's break down round 4 of the Rugby Championship. So as you can see, we start with the Springboks versus All Blacks. I mean, what a game yet again. And in total, you can see 2 tries by the Springboks, 496 meters compared to the All Blacks 322, and nearly about the same amount of carries. So 122 to the Springboks, 121 to New Zealand. Missed tackles, defenders beaten by New Zealand, 37 defenders beaten, so 37 missed tackles by the Boks, and then 20 missed tackles by the All Blacks. 6 clean breaks to 4, 163 to 172 passes, 5 offloads, 4 offloads, and 16 and 14 turnovers conceded. I think that is very high for 2 of the best teams in the world. I know they have a good amount of jacklers and turnover kings, but to concede that many is quite a lot for, 2 of the world's top 4 teams. So let's start with the All Blacks and Springboks game played in Cape Town in South Africa. As you can see, we'll go through the player rankings real quick. The score was 18-12 to the Boks. Very tight game yet again. I mean, you knew South Africa were in charge of the game, but they never got it on the scoreboard, if you know what I mean. They were kind of chasing most of the game and then kind of got the try, and then they started turning it around with a couple of penalties as well. You can see here, so Oxenchair, I think he was solid. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Great scrummaging, good on attack, and he made a couple of solid tackles as well. Tamati Williams, he was great. I mean, played nearly 70 minutes, was just solid for the All Blacks in the scrum as well. He deserves a good solid 7 out of 10 as well. Bongi Mbonambi, he played great game, but he got outshined by Cody Taylor, I think. Bongi, he just kind of got in his head. You can see him and Cody were having that front row battle, the hooker battle, just like the old days. And I think he lost that one. I think I give him a 6 out of 10. He didn't do anything bad, but he wasn't as influential as he usually is. Cody Taylor, man, what a game. I'll give him a solid, probably 8 out of 10. He was just everywhere. And his running, his ball playing is just crazy. Frans Malherbe, another great game by him. 7 out of 10. Solid scrummaging, never looked like taking a step back. Made a couple of good tackles and a couple of runs as well. A couple of passes actually out the back as well. Tyrell Lomax, apart from the yellow card, he played really good. His ball playing is great. Defense is solid. But because of the yellow, I'll give him a 6.5. That yet again, another late yellow card for the All Blacks, which really cost them, especially against the Boks when they're attacking in that last 20. And yeah, you can tell maybe Tyrell and Tamati, if New Zealand had a little bit more depth, they'd only be playing 60 minutes max, but you can see they nearly played 70 minutes. So I think it's a bit too much for international props in this day and age to be able to, give you 100% after 60 minutes. You have an Etzebeth, another solid game by him, 7 out of 10. Work rate galore, good running, good tackling, no real mistakes. He was all right in the line out. But yeah, New Zealand has really disrupted the Boks line out. And I guess they're only missing, really, let's be honest, the other starting, if you're looking at it from perspective, you're looking at Archie Snyman, you're looking at Franco Mostert. So they're missing a few, obviously in the second row, but Norkia also done well in the line-out as well. But Scott Barrett, a great game. I think he won a couple of turnovers as well. His work rate is just insane. I give him a solid 7 out of 10. Just for the work rate, being around the park the whole time, making some good runs. And yeah, those 2 steals are it came at a good situation too, should I say, if you're an All Black supporter. Ron Norkia was just solid. The only thing with him, he always gives up 1 or 2 penalties a game. And you see a couple of times, it's always when he can't roll away because he's such a big body. I mean, they're over 2 meters tall, getting trapped in that ruck. And New Zealand played it well. They really do hold him in, which is fair play. At the end of the day, you can dislike it, but it's all part of the game. So gave up a couple of penalties. Tupu Vae, he's a good player. Very good player. The only thing with him is he's similar to Pupera Naira, where they both kind of worry too much about what the ref is doing. They always throwing their hands up every call, blah, blah, blah. I think just worry more about the game. And you could see the All Blacks from yesteryear, when they were winning every game pretty much, they would never complain to the ref. But as soon as they're losing, suddenly you see a bit of complaints coming in there. So I think he's still young. He's only 24, I believe. And he just needs to worry about the game, just in my opinion. Sia Khaleesi, great, led from the front, 8 out of 10. He was probably my man of the match for the box. Made great tackles. I think he got bumped off once, though. Scored the try, though, which really reinvigorated the team. Found a great hole. So 8 out of 10 for him. Wallace Setiti, he had a great game. Like, coming off the bench last week and getting bumped off straight away, I was kind of like, oh, you know, they're putting him in the starting lineup here, but he did really good. He's only young 20s, so another player to build for the next World Cup. I give him a 6.5 out of 10. He just did his work, you know. He made a lot of tackles and did some couple good runs. Peter Steph-Totoy, another great game by him. I give him a 7 out of 10. Tackles, runs. Man, he just doesn't know how to have a game under 7, and that's the difference between, I guess, the world-class, world-best players. They never have a bad game. Never. Sam Cane, another good solid game by him, I think. He made a try-saving tackle against Cheslin Colby when he made that break. So I give him a 6.5 out of 10. He played really well, I think. Just didn't win any awards. I mean, as a 7, you should be really... I think he won one penalty, actually, so I'll take that back. He did a good job. Solid job for the old captain. Jasper Visa, quiet game by his standards as well. He was good on the attack, good on defense, but he made a couple of mistakes you could see, and he just wasn't as influential as last week. So it's a 6 out of 10 for Jasper. But anything over 5, like I say, is a good game. So 5 is like you were very average. 6 is yet an above average game. Artie Sevilla, another guy who just doesn't have a bad game. Bit quieter by his standards, but didn't do anything wrong. But yet again, gave up, I think, 2 penalties, which yet again are 50-50 calls. So if it goes the other way, you know, he's the hero. So it's a 6.5 out of 10 for Artie. Grant Williams, a quiet game, I think, by his standards. But that's why I think he's maybe more of a bench player, just in my opinion. Comes on a little bit quicker. You could see in the game he's kind of rushing a little bit too much, I think. Sometimes just needs to take that extra half a second and get rid of the ball, you know. So I give him a 6 out of 10. Cortez Ratimar, I think he was solid, but very quiet. I think he won 1 penalty. So another 6 out of 10 for Cortez, because he didn't really do anything bad. Probably the 10s, both the starting 10s had pretty average games. I give Hyundai a 5.5 out of 10. Didn't have a great game. Didn't do too much on attack. His defense was pretty okay, but I've seen him missed a couple tackles as well. Off the lineouts, they're really aiming for Hyundai. So only 5.5 out of 10. Damien McKenzie, another 5. I'll give him a 5 out of 10, to be honest, because he missed the sitter of a penalty right in front. Goal kicking was average. So I was kind of surprised that he didn't get replaced by Geordie, to be honest, just to bring on that cool head, a little bit more experience, and probably Geordie could have taken over the goal kicking, to be honest. Cheslin Colby, a great game, 7.5 out of 10. The dude is just a freaking live wire, eh? He's just great to watch. Such a humble guy too. And he also got that yellow card as well from Tyrell Lomax. So he drew that out. Could have scored that one as well. Could have scored another try if it wasn't for a great tackle by Sam Cane. Mark Talia, very quiet game. Give him a 5 out of 10. He really didn't do anything crazy. And when he did hunt around the middle, he really got shut down. So he just didn't have that usual impact. That's why he got subbed off pretty early. Damien De Allende, great game. 8 out of 10. He got player of the match. Just great around the rucks. I mean, he has to be probably the best or top 3 backs in the world in the ruck. I mean, he can steal the ball. He can clear a ruck like anything. He's just a guy who does the hard, dirty work, and he's happy, you know. Geordie Barrett, he had a great game as well. I think he was solid on D, good on attack. His kicking was okay. Just his touch finders, I think, on the penalties, he can do probably a bit more. He's got a big boot. So I give him a 6 out of 10 for Geordie. Jesse Creel, quiet game from Jesse's standards. Couple bad reads on defense. So 5.5 out of 10 for Jesse. Just wasn't up to his normal standard, but it was still, you know, like an average game for him. So nothing too bad. Rico Iani, ups and downs, I think, for Rico. He's one of those players that can break a game, or he's going to be fairly quiet. And I think since Geordie Barrett's been at 12, he's been a little bit more quiet as well. So we'll see how he fits in with Razor's game plan moving forward. So it's only a 5.5 out of 10 for Rico as well. Kynan Moody, I think he had a pretty average game. His defense was pretty shocking. He rushed out the line, I think, 4 times where he just missed his man completely, which opened up that left side. But luckily there was covered defense coming across. So it's a 5 out of 10 for Kynan. But I love to see him in a team. He's so young, just naturally gifted. The more time he gets to play, the better he's going to get. So he's going to be, I think, the future replacement probably for Jesse Creel in the future. Sevi Reese, also a pretty average game, 5 out of 10 for him. Just a yellow card was just unnecessary. It's just touch and go, but don't turn your back, I guess. If he stayed up, looking at the ball, he wouldn't have got sent off. Villy Leroux, average game. Man, I just have not rated Villy for a while. He does bring a level-headed at the back. He does bring the ball playing, but he just tries too much sometimes and doesn't want to take a tackle a lot of the time. So only a 5.5 for Villy. Will Jordan, quiet as well, but he didn't do anything wrong really out the back. So it's a 5.5 for Will Jordan as well. The bench, we're looking Malcolm Marks, what a legend. Scored another try. Pretty much got half a game nearly. Solid 7 out of 10 for him. Just a great game. Never has a bad game. He's one of those players as well who's still top 5 hooker in the world. Almoa got no time because Cody Taylor was just playing so good, and Cody Taylor had a rest with the head knock, so he got a 10-minute rest and he came back on. So Almoa, I feel we can't even rate him. Steenekamp came on, won a scrum penalty, I believe, and also did a couple good runs and tackles. Definitely a better game from him this week. So for the time that he was on, it's a 6.5 out of 10. Tuonga Fasi hardly got any time as well. And I believe he's a great player, man. They're wasting him, I think. He should be playing at least 30 minutes a game, at least. So the time he was on, he didn't do anything bad. So 6.5 out of 10 as well. Vincent Koch came in, just did his scrummaging, did okay runs, got isolated 1 point. So pretty 6 out of 10 for him. Flint Chanul had no time. Baja came on, pretty quiet for his standards, but I mean, the rest of the team stood up around him, so it's just a 5.5 out of 10 for Quaha, just did his work. Sam Derry, I don't even see him on the field, to be honest, so no ranking for him. Alaric Lowe came on only late, so I can't really rank him. Luke Jacobson came on, hardly any time as well. I feel like that's just a waste as well. Luke Jacobson has a big future. Hendrickse came on. He did a couple of good plays. I think his timing was a little bit better compared to Williams. So I think he did pretty good. But I'm not going to be able to give a ranking, just not enough time. TJ Perinara, yet again. He just needs to stop complaining to the ref, this guy. He worries more about what the ref is doing. And me as a player, I'm similar as well. But when the calls are definitely not a bad call, just be quiet, man. Especially at that level where the refs don't take it at all. Sasha came on, did a good run, and then, he makes these breaks, but he just doesn't finish it, if you know what I mean. And that's the thing, he's young, he's going to build into it, and he's got the full package, so just let him keep building. Anton Leonard Brown hardly got any time as well. The poor man, he's good enough to start at 12 or 13, but he doesn't get the chance. Lukania luckily got some minutes. I think that's good. For what he'd done, he was okay. Bowden Barrett, yet again, hardly any time for him as well. So I think Razor is just missing the opportunity a little bit with his bench, where we all know by now it's you pretty much got to have a good 23 who can play the game every game. As you can see, Malcolm Marks and Khaleesi with the only 2 tries, Pollard with a conversion, Nguzulu and Pollard with penalties, and McKenzie with 4 penalties, and he missed that one right in front as well. So in total, a good game. Really, really good game. So, that puts South Africa now with 2 games left in Argentina. Argentina could sneak one off because I know Rusty's going to change the team a lot. I think maybe the first game in Argentina, Rusty might actually play a pretty good team. Maybe just make a couple changes, I think, and just show them the respect that they deserve. They deserve to play the top box team at the moment. They really have been a good team lately, especially. But the only thing I think with the Argentinian team is they're very unpredictable. They can hardly, you don't know what team is going to show up. As you see here, I think this is the try of the game here by Sia Khaleesi. Put a bit of commentary on for you.
Tackle of RD4. Williams again marks. And then Khalifi!
Just seals that hole really, really well. I mean, Rico just moved. You can see just moved out the way, opened up that gap just to get through. These are one of the rules I hate as well when it comes to rugby at the moment is, you know, Villiers really going for the...
He has put his arm out there, Villiers.
He's going for the catch. That's the tough thing. I hate that law. How just anything now, just reaching out one-handed means that you're going to get yellow carded. I think that's stupid. It should be just a deliberate knockdown. So if your hand is facing down, that should be a yellow and a penalty try possibly. But hand up, trying to catch it, I think, you know, play on. Let the boys play. Mackenzie, that's the one. That's the sitter right there, right in front. And at this level, you know, big game, you gotta make that kick. 8 minutes left, puts New Zealand up 15-13. A whole different game ball. But instead, this happens, you know, 1 minute later, Lomax just stupidly kind of leans down, which just made it obvious, unfortunately. There's just no need to really do that. I think at least lift your shoulder up, do not make it look obvious. And I think the thing here, Severis comes across smartly. And then as soon as he just comes in, Malcolm Marks punishes you. So Box win it. It's 18 points to 12. Sorry, what a great game. What a great game. Now, if you're a Wallaby supporter, you might as well turn off right now because, man, I think the first half they actually played pretty good, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. They actually played pretty good. You can see here the score was 20 points to 17 to the Wallabies at halftime. They were up 20 points to 3 at one point. So, you know, 64 points to 7 to finish the game is just insanity. I don't even know how that works, especially a team like the Wallabies who actually allowed the most points they ever have in a game. And obviously it's the most points they've allowed in a single half as well by allowing 50 points. I mean, a lot of teams will never even concede 50, let alone in one half. So, but, you know, watching that game, you do really see everything just went their way. So you can see here, Carreras, Montoya, Gonzalez, Matera, Oviedo, Malia, and Sinte, all scoring, couple with a double. Tizano, I think he's been a great player for the Wallabies. Good find. Andrew Callaway and McDermott. When McDermott came on, he brought a bit of live wire, but that's when they were just capitulating anyway. So the poor guy. So, I mean, going through the team here, I mean, Galo played 71 minutes for Argentina, played pretty well. You got Montoya, great game. El Capitano, solid, I think. You know, you'd give him like an 8 out of 10. Yeah, great game. Scarvi played pretty good. Came back on after 74 minutes. He came off at 46. Guido Petti, 60 minutes. Lavanini came off after 46. He didn't have the greatest game. Matera, you know, another solid effort by him. Got a try in the 58th minute. Came off with 12 minutes to go. You'd have to give that man 7 out of 10 at least, 7.5. Kramer was just solid. He's just such a workhorse. You know, he reminds me of like an old Jerry Collins, you know, where, rest in peace, but such a good, solid runner and a good defender. Juan Martin Gonzalez, he played pretty well. Got the try in the 48th minute. He's got so much potential, this guy. You know, he's still young and he's massive and he's just naturally gifted. Give him a good 7 out of 10 as well. Kramer got a 7.5 out of 10 for me. Bertranu played well, kept the onslaught on, should I say, after the halftime. He really got that ball out quick, the number 9. Albornoz, he played well. He got the start today after, you know, Carreras got dropped. So I think he played really well. And I think he kicked well, and that's what they wanted from him. And he brought that little bit of flair as well. So well done to him. Carreras, I rate him as a winger. Really good player. Got a try in 32nd minute. And when they needed it too, that's when they were down quite big. Santiago Chocabres, he's a good player. He went to, the first game against the All Blacks, he had a great game. Last game against the All Blacks, he was missing. Same thing against the Wallabies, he was missing last week, and this week he had a cracker. Shows his pace, good defense, 7 out of 10 for him. Sinti at centre, just a solid game. Got a try, last try of the game in the 80th minute, 6 out of 10. Dalgai, pretty quiet on the right wing, but, came off in the 46th minute anyway. Juan Malia, got 2 tries. The fullback, he's the kind of the unsung kind of find for them this year, where he's actually played quite well. You got Ruiz, Vivas, who only got about 15 minutes. Then you got Bello, who came on the 46th minute, came off in the 74th. Molina, number 19, came on after 60, was pretty solid. You got Joaquin Oviedo, who came on 46th minute. I believe he came on for Lavanini, I believe. And he had a cracker, man. He had a great game. 2 tries for like a second rower / flanker. You got Santiago Grondona, came on the 68th minute. Gonzalo Garcia, and then Carreras came on right at the end as well. And yeah, just a capitulation. I mean, first half by the Wallabies was solid. They started really good. Angus Bell, he played the whole game as a prop, and he was their best. He's an 8 out of 10 for me. His run, he made a great run, nearly scored. He made people miss, footwork. And he also is just solid in defense, a good player. Wallabies are happy to have him back. Matthew Faisler, the guy, yet again, pretty average game. He comes and goes, right? One game good, one game pretty average. Taniela Tupou came off early after 30 minutes, so hopefully nothing too bad. Nick Frost, yeah, not much to say about him. I mean, Angus Bell's the only real one who really made a difference in the whole pretty tight 5. Jeremy Williams played the whole game at lock, was pretty average for me. Valentini came off after 63 minutes, and he was one of their best. Tizano, great defender, great find by them, playing for the Western Force. I think he had a pretty solid game. I give him a 6.5 out of 10. Harry Wilson, he's always pretty solid, but he's one of those players who seemed a little bit lazy in the inside on defense in that second half. Jake Gordon was, I think, good. Jake Gordon comes off. The game changed quite a bit. Ben Donaldson, I think, was pretty good as well. He the first half, he brought quite a bit of attack. I think he was pretty solid. So I give him a 6 out of 10. Marika Korobiti, 5 out of 5. Kind of went missing, maybe tried to do a bit too much. Got caught in field a few times. Hamish Stewart, number 12, pretty average game from him. 5 out of 10. Ikitau, one of their best last week. I think probably maybe player of the match. This game, pretty average again, 6 out of 10. Max Jorgensen, you could see what he can do on attack, the young fella. But it's just his defense really let him down. He was caught in no man's land a few times. So that's the only thing probably letting him down at the moment. So 5 out of 5, 5.5 out of 10. Callaway, man, he looks like he wants to be there sometimes on attack, and then sometimes he just looks like he doesn't want to be on the field. So I give him a 5 out of 10. He had a good try, but just doesn't look like he wants to be there when they're down, down and out. Josh Nasser came on. He was pretty solid. James Slipper didn't even get on, which I think is weird. He can break the Australian record for the most players, so why not put him on, even though the game's lost? I mean, give him a cap. Alalatoa, I think he was solid when he came on, but too little too late. Josh Canham, Lungy Gleeson, Tate McDermott. I mean, he brought a bit of life wire when he came on, but that's when they really capitulated. So Tom Lina, I don't know why they brought him on, but he had a pretty average game, I think. Joshua Fluke as well, I think he had a pretty average game. So a lot of these young players, got brought on when they're getting smoked in the end. So, or they helped with getting smoked, I think. When they all came on, they started going backwards. So I think maybe Schmidt can maybe look at himself a little bit on that one and maybe take it on the chin and realize made a couple of bad subs, I think. And the subs he should have made, he didn't make. So I think a couple of missed opportunities there by him. I mean, you can see here, Lina came on in the 50th minute, McDermott 49th, Josh Nasser came in 46, and really at that 58, 50-minute mark, that's really when Argentina started taking over as well. So yeah, just all in all a pretty bad game for them. Let's see how this kind of compares to the choose here of the team of the week here by the experts. So yeah, Malia from Argentina at fullback. Cheslin Colby definitely deserves it. Sinti, see, I don't think he played that crazy amount well, but I mean, no other center really had a great game. When you look at Creel, he didn't have a great game. You look at Rico Ioane, he didn't have a great game. And then you look at, obviously, you can't put a bloody Australian in this team. The Alinde, great game. Carreras, yep, on the left wing deserves it. Albanose, yep, definitely deserves it as well. The 10 from Argentina. Ratima, I don't think passing was great. His kicking was average, I think. I think the Argentina 9 should have been there. Oviedo from Argentina at 8. Great game by him. Khaleesi deserves it. Matera, great game by him as well. Norkia, yet again, could be another, I think Scott Barrett deserves it over Norkia there, to be honest. Ibn Etzebeth was solid. Lomax, that yellow card and everything destroyed him, I think. I don't think he deserves to be in that team. Montoya, great game by him. And then Galo from Argentina, well deserved. So we're not too far off with that. 2 more rounds, sorry. What am I talking about? So South Africa versus Argentina in 2 games to decide it. Obviously, they're missing quite a lot of players. But I think, they'll minimum win one of them too. So the prediction, I think, just depends what team Russie comes. But I think Russie will show the respect that they deserve and, give them a pretty good team to play against. Where I think the All Blacks, they will... I think it'll be fairly close, actually. If Tupou, Taniela Tupou can play and Angus Bell will be there, I think the Wallabies will actually keep it within 20 points. That's just my thinking. I think they play better on a home soil, playing in Sydney. But I think the game they'll play in New Zealand, they'll get a bit of a hiding. It'll probably be in wet conditions, to be honest. But I hope the Wallabies can actually keep it close and put it in front of a big crowd at home. They can put something on. But I think, New Zealand wins that one probably, I'd say 30 points to about 17. So Wallabies will kind of keep it close. And then I think South Africa will beat Argentina 27-17. 27-17 or 27-20, I'd say. It's going to be pretty close, but it won't be, a big difference in the teams. I think Argentina will keep it close. And then the Springboks will bring on the bomb squad at the end, and then they'll kind of pull away again. So we'll see what team they'll announce. We'll do a bit of prediction once the teams are out. We'll go through the team lists, and we'll try and make more videos because, man, obviously I'd stay awake for every game anyway, so might as well make a couple of videos. Let me know, what do you do? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Been watching rugby since I was a little kid, since 5 years old. Grew up in South Africa, then lived in New Zealand for 11 years, and now live in Australia. So I've been pretty much in the whole Tri-Nations. I know what people say about all their teams, and, each country I've been in, South Africa, Springboks are the team, right? They're the best in the world. In New Zealand, it's only the All Blacks. They're the best in the world. You come to Australia and pretty much everyone rips on the Wallabies, even the Australians. So it's such a different culture shock, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see how the predictions go. And we'll also hopefully enjoy the breakdown of the games. And we'll see you next round.